Hey y'all, today I want to show you about pivot tables. So pivot tables are actually a very powerful way to summarize your data. And they start like until you've played with them, they look a little scary. So I just want to show you how you start. Okay, first I'm going to Control A and highlight all of my data. Then I'm going to go to Data and I'm going to go to Pivot Table. All right, so there's that. And I want to put it in my existing sheet so that I can see my original data and my pivot table all in one place. All right, so it's going to go in. I just highlighted one cell and it'll build right from there. All right, create. Now, why I found pivot tables so intimidating was because you put in a pivot table and then there's nothing in it to start. But it does give you suggestions. So I was talking on a previous video that I was wondering whether the funding changes if your average score changes or if your school population changes. So I'm going to start with the average funding for each school. The other were sum of school population for each year or average score for each school. So I'm going to start here with the average funding. Okay, so you can see now AIS generally gets $50,000 a year. Shermer gets about $25,000, and so on. All right. So now this is kind of weird. I'm going to add, I would think I would add columns. Let's see what happens when I add columns. So I'm going to add the school population as columns. And see, it did this long thing. I don't like that one. Okay, so I'm going to close that and go back to what I had originally. If you don't close it, you can also hit Control Z, that's undo, and it will start you over, or it'll go back a step. Okay, so what I figured out was I actually need to add values. So I'm going to add the school population here. And when it inserts, it's going to be the sum. So see down here, it says sum. That means all of the years added up. I don't really want that. I actually want the average. Or, I don't know, I might want the maximum. See how all of these things are things to choose from? So the sum, the count, the unique, count unique, average, maximum, minimum, median, the product, you can multiply them all together. Standard deviation, or variability. So I'm going to choose average. And now you see that AIS has an average population of 650 students over these 5 years. All right, I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add the average score because that's what I'm interested in. Note, again, it does sum by default, but I think I want average. Yes, okay, so these are out of 100. I'm going to look at this for just a second. Okay, so note, Rydell, right, gets the highest funding. It also has the highest population on average and the highest score on average. So that makes sense. What about, which one has the lowest? Okay, the lowest population and the lowest score goes to Shermer, and it gets the lowest funding. So that makes sense too. Okay, so see, this was a really fast, easy way to create a summary of my data. So now I can take this and I can create some graphs and charts. I'll do that in the next video.